let's have a beautiful experience. In this video, we're going to talk about trust, how to naturally raise your testosterone, your human growth hormone, and make your penis bigger. It's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. All right, before we get started here, please do me a huge favor. Please ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, of course tell some friends. Make sure you give me that Arthur Fonzarelli thumbs up like so I say hey. Of course follow me on my social media. I go by Jesus_Detroit on my Instagram, Snapchat, I'm YOUNGDAYGO. And that's right, in this video it's all about trust, and you know what we're all about in the BCC, the Big Cock Consciousness, the Big Cock Collective, where I help you manifest a bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and higher penis, help you naturally raise your HGH and your testosterone. I'm a spiritual guide and a mentor here to expand your mind and increase your size. So without further ado, I'm here to tell you about trust. And yes, I know it might sound all law of attraction with the trust the process, but in the end of it all, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And like I always like to preach, if you want beauty to appear, you gotta keep this clear. Keep your mind as a clear conduit for growth. And like Rocky Balboa says, it's real unless you believe in yourself. So make sure you believe in you, because I believe in you. And the best, that's the thing of all this is, because regardless of who's telling you what, it all comes down to what's in here. And if you're listening to a million different people on, you know, something that you're passionate about, if you don't follow your instinct in your heart, then you're not going to get anywhere. And that's really what it comes down to, man. You got to come from here. And since I'm starting with love, starting with the heart, you know, going down the chakra line, we're talking about the power, man. The power of love. Huey Lou didn't lie, and that's what the news is today. We're talking about what I always got to share, that matrix hack. No matter what time of day, no matter where you're at, if you ever hear somebody on the phone, somebody comes across your mind, if you're looking at somebody in a line somewhere, it doesn't matter where you're at the gym, just intend on that person, that soul, to have a beautiful day, to feel love in some kind of way, and you go along your day, and you just hacked the matrix, you just made the world a better place. And I know it might sound, you know, whatever to you, but, you know, regardless, I mean, it's quite simple, because everybody out there is an extension of you, whether you believe it or not. So, I mean, you know, essentially, whenever you're loving somebody out there, you're loving yourself. And when you start with loving yourself, you're loving everybody else. I mean, you get this, it's all connected, it's all correlated. So make sure you're loving yourself first, but whenever you're out there, start spreading the love, man. Just raise the vibe up, man, because that's really what it's all about. It's all about feeling love, it's all about smiling, it's all about growth. Don't forget, the smile is divine, it's made inside the mind, and when you're doing that, you're lighting up the world, man. It's a beautiful thing. And like I like to say every single day, you always always before your feet hit the ground, you know the sound. Take this breath with me. I got a shot today. I feel beautiful, because gratitude is the attitude. And every single day when you wake up, you got a breath, you got a shot. A shot at what? You got a shot at life, man. Don't forget it, man. It's a beautiful thing to know that you got a shot here. And just, you know, your breath is all correlated into your well-being. So make sure you know, you're grateful for what you have. And today when we're talking about the trust and understanding that all these techniques out there, that you can listen to a million different you know, gurus and experts that will preach this, that, and the other. Some will tell you about science, and you know me, I'm about magic. And like I say, I don't discredit science, but I don't discredit magic. And you know, whenever you're going down, you know, listening to somebody tell you about the scientific way of lifting weights, and the scientific type 2 muscle fiber, type 1 this, and your testosterone this, and your cortisone that, and all these different levels, it's like I take it for what it's worth. And like I say, all truths are true. You just got to find the ones to make you. But essentially, the most important thing that I feel, whether it's science, whether it's magic, is the feeling. The feeling is what's going to help you know, to help you grow. And when you're going with mind and muscle connection, which I always love to preach, it's this one guy really said it right when he's talking about, if you can look at a diagram of your muscles and understand how to like flex every part individually, that's going to help you, you know, when you're in the gym. Like if you don't know how to do that, then you're lacking the mind muscle connection. So this is something that you should get your mind in tune with. And like Paramahansa Yogananda says, you know what time it is. It's time to get a quick pump in. Even though I was just down here working out, man, just getting me a pump, doing me my Groga session. That's right, naked in a chair, doing the way I like to do it the best. Cock ring on, making myself grow. And that's how I flow, man. You gotta train insane or remain the same. I'm constantly coming up with new ways and ideas of essentially getting you the most benefit out of the most, you know, the most practical way that feels right. And of course, you know, I'm not gonna be walking around Planet Fitness with, you know, with a cock ring on or Gold's Gym or whatever. But when you're at home, you get to experiment more and you get to understand that aroused workouts like Arnold Schwarzenegger likes to preach about. Yeah, when I'm getting the pump, it's like I'm coming at the gym and like, yeah, you feel it? That's real, because aroused workouts are something where you're unleashing the testosterone and just putting that into your muscles, because like Paramahansa Yogananda says, the mind is the wielder of muscle, and arousal is something that we're all created upon. I mean, you got to think about it. You were made from excitement, so you got to be excited about what you're doing, because life comes from being excited. So get excited at the gym. And I know it might sound a little crazy, but like I said, you gotta do some crazy things sometimes. And like Paramahansa Yogananda says, the mind is the wielder of muscle. And like I like to say, when I'm doing my lines every single day, I am magic, I am divine, and the universe is on my side. And don't forget my favorite mantras to say when I'm doing my planks, whenever I'm doing my weights, or whatever I gotta say, I'll just start being grateful. I'm so happy and grateful that my huge, beautiful penis is growing bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and harder abundantly. I'm so happy and grateful my huge, beautiful muscles are growing bigger, harder, stronger, more defined, abundantly. And then, of course, the one that you really gotta get that one last rip out, you scream and you shout, or say it in your head, you know what it is. I am magic, I am divine, and I can increase my size. 2020, let's grow, let's explode, man. It's a beautiful thing. You know what it is. Whew, you gotta love it, man. I'm telling you, man. Detroit Rock City, wintertime in a chair, naked, sweating, letting you know that energy is always there for you to grab. And I gotta grab me a quick Guinness, so I say salute. It's a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. Oh yeah. That is a beautiful, beautiful moment. Beautiful thing. You gotta drop the bun on that one. Have some fun. Oh yeah. That is a beautiful thing, a beautiful pump, beautiful grow. Oh yeah. And like I said, for essentially with everything that you do, there's a 2-way, 3-way, 4-way, multiple different ways of how you're doing everything right or wrong. So you got to find what path that you choose to be on. And that's why trust is essentially everything. You got to trust yourself. And I know it might sound, you know, everybody might be looking for the answer, but like I always say, man, the answers are within. And, you know, I was tapping to the divine, because I feel that essentially everything was already here at any given time. And we're talking about whether time's linear, whether it exists or not, whether you got people that, you know, the pyramids and Egyptians and Romans, and regardless, you look at the statues in all kinds of cultures, there was some massive, muscly dudes that were existing, and there was no known steroids at those times. And we're talking about Hercules and Priapus and all these other gods that exist. And I feel like if you can tap into that state of mind and understand that you can increase your size and not have to necessarily go with everybody's traditional way of this is how you lift weights and you got to do it this way, because like I said, there's millions of different ways of going about this. And like for instance, like I feel you don't necessarily have to lift heavy weights in order to achieve muscle size. And that might seem, condescending to some, and that might be like, there's no way, you work out, you get way deeper, denser muscles when you go power lift. It's like, look, teach their own. All I'm saying is, there's no wrong way to do this. And why have to work harder when you can work smarter? You know what I mean? It's like, I feel that working out depleted is the best way for me. Like I go into the gym, I get my cardio going, and I burn a lot of calories. We're talking, I'm going hardcore, man. I'm dripping the sweat. And by the time, I go through my, my Groga session, and then I hit the weights at the end. It's like my dessert. And if you're a power lifter, that is not the way that you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to make sure you eat properly and you got the maximum power that you're going to be able to go in there and get PRs. And you want to be able to do 500 pounds this week, because last week you were at 495. And I totally agree with that. But if you're able to just, deplete yourself and you're able to pump yourself up and get sore and grow, I mean, isn't that essentially what we're going after anyways? Because I recall going more heavyweight style, and I could be in the gym doing, the flat bench, incline bench, decline bench, pec flies, and then all of a sudden, do that, you keep doing that week after week, month after month. There's days that you go in there and it's like, it didn't do guts, you know what I mean? It didn't hit you as hard as just going in there and being like, you know what? I got more off the cable crosses with light weight and just focusing and squeezing and just feeling every part of my pec than I would just going in there and be like, all right, let's get some heavy inclines, some heavy declines, some heavy flat. And that might, like I said, to each their own. But if you're able to get more out of less, I find that is the ticket to making you're a success. And I feel like that's what's going to help you manifest the best. And like I said, there's no wrong way. You want to go in there and go heavy, then Merry Christmas, as David Goggins would say, because he's got his own techniques about doing things crazy. But I feel that you can take things in a more relaxed type of flow, and that's why I always follow the Tao practice, which is the Wu Wave flow, the path of least resistance. And that's why I'm here right now doing this. I mean, you're doing things not in a particular order. You're doing things with flow. You're not going against. You're not making things harder than they should, and you're manifesting it the way that feels right. But like I said, to each their own. Some people might want to feel the resistance. I mean, weight training is resistance training, but I mean, how are you using the resistance? Now, that's a way you can look at it through perspective. Like, are you using the resistance where you got to go extremely heavy, or are you using the resistance where you're making your mind increase the size, that mind and muscle connection? And I feel like that is more beneficial than anything you will get out of just, going extremely heavy. But be as it may, I see people that are able to just, their body just develops just on autopilot. It's just in tune for them, for a person to do that, where, you might have to get more inside here and start, like I said, going into the construct at night, where you're kind of like, where you're like my, Neo from the Matrix, like, take, load me, and loading these guns, you know what I mean? That's what we're talking about. And, developing the body, before you go to bed, visualizing it from the end. And I know that might sound easier said than done, but I mean, you got to be able to have some fun and just feel what it would be like to have, essentially your dream body, your dream penis, everything that you're looking for now, because you got to have the feeling of already having it. You got to own what you are. And essentially, like I said, man, we're all from the stars, and whatever's inside of me is inside of you. It's inside the blue. Whatever's running these beautiful avatars, it's all connected to something. And I just feel that, when we're here, spreading love and, learning different ways is kind of the way to life. And for that, I say salute. Oh yeah. You know, I had to get a quick one in, man. I'm telling you, like, if this has been it's been a long day, but a productive one at that. And I really feel that, you know, like I said, working out at home and being able to utilize other ways of, you know, manifesting muscle is definitely, you know, a game changer and more beneficial, because if you're somebody that has to rely on heavy weights to increase your size, then that's going to be, you know, more counterproductive, and you're going to have to rely on things instead of relying on the divine and the inside, because essentially there wasn't always, you know, barbells and dumbbells and heavy weight for everybody to lift at every, you know, maybe people were lifting racks or whatever. But either way, I'm just saying, you know, you don't necessarily need the heavy weight. And I feel that, you know, it is great to be able to lift a lot, you know what I mean? But I feel like, you know, there's so much more to the body than just the strength aspect of the muscle size, because a guy can bench, you know, 400 pounds and look 4,000 different ways, and that is the truth, man. You can look at, you know, it's like, what does it mean if you can get 400 pounds off your chest? It's like, does that mean you're going to have 24-inch arms? Does it mean you're going to have defined, ripped, shredded body? What does it mean? Does it mean it looks like you eat Arby's and drive trucks? Nothing against that. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, what's your goal? And I feel like the mind is that's the blueprint. That's going to give you what you're going after. Like Piro Mohansa says, and, you know, putting the mind into the size, trust in yourself is what this all comes down to today. Because like I said, you know, he had me rambling like a monkey in a tree. Of course, they got to get the Forrest Gump analogy in there. But like I'm saying, man, when you trust yourself, you know, it's just about, you know, feeling, you're going off the feeling. And the, you know, getting a huge juicy pump and having the soreness in the next days, you know you did it right. And beyond that, you're going to know that you're doing it right if you feel that you're doing it right. So there's no wrong way at this. You got to trust yourself. There's so much more that you can, you know, you could look into, like, you know, like I said, man, you go down the street and there's going to be, you know, you follow this person's workout, that person's technique. And when we're talking about manifesting a bigger, wider, thicker, longer, stronger, and out of penis, you get at me in the BCC and I can show you techniques hands-on. We're talking ones that are manifested through me, because you got to understand that I feel that all thoughts are things, and if we can entertain that they're all floating around, I'm a receptive conduit for this, and I keep manifesting results, manifesting the best. And I'm talking about utilizing these techniques, and I'm bringing a new version, I'm putting a new twist on it that you can help, you know, with your own manifestation. I mean, we're talking super edging, super Kegels, we're talking the jelking, we're talking classic techniques that have been around, just manifested in a more, you know, in a more hands-on way. It's all hands-on, you know what I gotta say, but I'm just saying it's more, it's just more utilized into my flow, you know what I mean? So there's no wrong way to grow. And like I said, essentially the biggest key to getting this fire going and igniting this is letting yourself know that you grow. So you got to write that down. I know I grow, and you got to really believe that flow and understand that, you know, we're all essentially somebody's kid out there, whether you know your parents or not. So you go ahead and you say that I'm somebody's kid. Don't forget that. And what does a kid do? A kid grow. So never forget that, you know what I mean? So we're here to manifest the best. Understand that you don't necessarily have to go down, you know, the scientific route and buy all the, you know, the uppers, downers, all arounders, you know what I mean? I'm not against any drugs, man, but I mean, essentially I'm more about, you know, putting the trust into yourself, not having to rely on any crutches. And that to me is the maximum benefit of, you know, using the less is more technique. We're talking, you know, less out there, more in here, more here, you know what I mean? We're talking about being able to use what you got to help bring you the more, you know what I mean? And that's a beautiful thing. For that, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, about to close this beautiful experience yet again. Give it a quick salute. Oh yeah, I tell you, man, a Guinness is one of the most healthiest beers that you can drink. Of course, that's the side of the argument I like to be on, man, because you can find a million different reasons why a beer is the most beautiful thing to have when you're working out. And that's what I like to go with. Anything that you're doing, make sure that you're on the positive side of whatever you're doing. Trust yourself, trust your heart. Don't get lost into so many people's ways of telling you why you can or you can't. You are your own meter to let you know why you're the leader. And we're going to help you increase your Peter. I don't know why I just had to get a quick rhyme in there. But like I said, man, you guys are beautiful. I love you guys. I intend on you guys to spread some love today, to fuel some love today. You guys got to know that we're all magic. We're divine. We can increase our size. Beautiful things are always on the way. And like I said, man, I love you guys, man. Make sure you guys are really hitting me up in the BCC, checking out my social media. I can't see, taking care of the neighborhood. My wolf and my bear always there. I'm going to have so many cameos this year, some travel, who knows? We got a lot of beautiful things to come. And I'll be, like I said, man, I'll be seeing you guys around. And like I said, trust yourself, man. You guys are beautiful. Love you guys. Peace.